Hi, I'm naturopath Dr. Julian Neal. Today I want to speak about sacred rest. What role does rest play in healing, and how can women practice it without guilt? In our culture of constant doing, rest is often mistaken for laziness, and exhaustion is worn like a badge of honor. But in naturopathic medicine, we understand that rest, and I'm talking about true rest, is not the absence of activity. It is a sacred, biological, and spiritual requirement for renewal. Dr. Bernard Jensen, one of my greatest teachers, used to say that simply lying down and closing your eyes brings healing to the body. And he was very correct. The parasympathetic nervous system, our rest, digest, and repair mode of the body, activates only when we stop doing and allow ourselves to simply be. So let's begin by looking at the naturopathic view, our physical restoration. Physiologically, rest restores cellular integrity. When we lie still, our heart rate slows, cortisol levels lower, and the body redirects energy from action to repair, healing tissues, recalibrating hormones, and detoxifying the cells. Even brief moments of conscious rest, 5 minutes of stillness, slow breathing, or closing the eyes between tasks, all of these can lower inflammation and restore balance to the adrenal glands. Rest is also essential to hormone health. Chronic overexertion suppresses progesterone and DHEA. It increases the cortisol levels and accelerates aging. In other words, rest is not a luxury. It is a form of true medicine. From the psychoanalytic view, allowing emotional permission and the release of guilt are imperative. The Dalai Lama speaks about guilt as problematic because it focuses on self-condemnation. It turns our attention inward toward judgment rather than compassion. And many women are conditioned to feel guilty for resting, as though their worth is measured only by their productivity. But guilt fractures the psyche. It keeps us from receiving what the body and soul most need, which is replenishment. From a psychoanalytic lens, rest is also an act of integration. It allows unconscious material, our repressed emotions, creative impulses, and unprocessed grief to rise into awareness. And when we rest without guilt, we give the unconscious permission to speak, to reorganize, and most important, to heal. Lastly, when we look from the spiritual and energetic view, rest is actually receptivity. Energetically, rest opens us to grace. In yoga and many ancient healing systems, it is said that the divine can only enter a vessel that is still. When the body softens, the mind quiets, and the breath deepens, and we return to alignment with the true natural rhythm of life. Inhale, exhale, expansion and contraction, doing and being. Rest is the moment the soul exhales. Here's a few tips on how to practice sacred rest without guilt. First, pause intentionally. Set aside a few minutes each day to lie down, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. No phone, no music, no goal, just presence. Second, reframe rest as strength. Remind yourself that recovery is the foundation of vitality. And third, create a ritual of stillness. Whether it's tea before bed, a short nap, or meditation, make rest a daily ceremony of self-respect. Here are my final thoughts. To rest is to remember that we are human beings, not human doings. When women allow rest to become sacred, free of guilt, and full of grace, they rediscover the body's innate capacity to heal, the mind's ability to reset, and the spirit's quiet wisdom waiting beneath all the noise. Rest is not idleness. It is the restoration of your wholeness.